Welcome, welcome. We've got chaos on the left and order on the right here to regale you with our story of our prior residence. My haunting house finally won its battle. At the end of my stay there was no running water. The main line to the house had blown. Landlord, we'll call her Wendy. Well, Wendy asked her main repairman, we'll call him Willie, who was not a plumber, to fix the main line. Non-plumber gracefully bowed out after assessing the situation and briefly attempting to fix it. Landlord Wendy proceeded to hire a retired plumber who refused to come. We went without water for 3 days. The retired plumber finally caved and got the water going. Once we got back in and settled, I smelled rotten eggs, which means there's a gas leak. Evacuated the house and had the gas company come and inspect the scene. Gas guy said it looked like a small leak judging from the quantity of gas in the space. He checked the basement, then checked our stove. Upon pulling out the stove, he stated it was a unique setup. The tubes for the gas line were taped together, and a big red was in the mix to reinforce the tape, of course. This setup started from below the cutoff valve, so the gas guy had to turn off the gas for the whole unit. Now, we had just gotten our water back on, and the water pressure wasn't great, but more importantly, it was brown. The water was brown. So naturally, you'd want to boil the water. Well, we had no gas with which to boil the water. So we stayed in a hotel. A few days go by, and the second main line to the house blew, and the gas pipes were still not resolved. The day the plumber was going to work on the main line, Wendy had him go to her house instead. When we said, hey, maybe that's not the move, she said, well, my boyfriend hasn't flushed the toilet in a year. I'm not sure if that was related to why she needed a plumber that day, and I'm not sure who would ever tell you that their boyfriend hadn't flushed the toilet in a year. It was quite horrifying. Either it's true, and that's horrifying, or she was lying, and why would that be the lie that you go to? Now, I've been to her house a while ago, and I had used the said bathroom. The scene there was quite disturbing. There were plates of food on top of newspapers on top of the tub, with smudges on them. The toilet had several life forms started. I'm pretty sure they had a society going on. They might have been working on electricity at this point. And I hope to all that is good in the world that he wasn't brushing his teeth with the available toothbrush. The light switch had a classy brown smear next to it. So if it was a lie, it was a believable lie, which is also disturbing. During this time, she offered the maintenance guy Willie's house to shower in, which is, an unconventional move, sure, but it goes deeper than that. Earlier in that day, the same day that she offered us his bathroom, she had entered his house. She knocked. He wasn't home. No one answered. She took it upon herself to walk inside, and once Wendy was inside, she called the police on him for the conditions within his home while she was in the house, that she was not invited into. Just gonna point out here that even vampires, can't enter a home without being invited in. Just saying. But anyway, so she felt entitled to come into his house because, quote unquote, he didn't clean up the blood that he had left the day before. That's right. Yep. So Willie had been in an accident the day before. He had fallen down the stairs the day before and broke his arm. So I got to chatting with him, and I said, the audacity of someone expecting you to clean up your own blood after your arm got broken. And he was like, what now? And I explained that Wendy was tracking him down to clean up his own blood. And he was like, oh, it was sauce for my meatball sandwich. So it turned out that it was just sauce from his sandwich that had splattered. But that being said, she believed it was his own blood and his responsibility to clean up, with the broken arm from said accident. Coincidentally, I went to the library that day, and on the whiteboard it said, I don't care about your broken arm. I kind of felt like Wendy had snuck in and wrote that, but I have no proof. Subscribe and like for part 2.